explain it.
What a yoga witch is, I personally at least, and anybody who knows witches knows that every witch is different. Um, I became a yoga instructor, and I also have a Patreon.
Yes.
And as I'm setting up my levels, I'm trying to figure out what to offer. I have been a practicing witch since 96.
Nice.
Yep. And I'm setting up the stuff for the Patreon, and tarot is one of my things.
Yeah.
So brain is like, hey, let's offer a 3-card tarot reading at this level, or maybe a pendulum reading. Okay, that works. Well, at that level, well, why don't we give them a spell a month? I can do that. And then at the next level, it was something else. And then I went, wait a minute. Where'd all the witchy shit come from? Pardon my language.
Of course. No part is necessary. We're already past the 5-minute mark here at YouTube. You can say as many fucks as you want. We're good.
Sweet. That is one thing we share in common. We both swear like the sailors we once were.
Yes, we do.
But so Branda's like, where the fuck is this witchy shit coming from? What the hell? Let's go with it. And then a couple of weeks later, I stumbled across a book that the title of it is Yoga Witch. And I'm like, it's Yoga for Witches. I take it back and I'm like, guess this is a thing. And I ran with it. And so what I do is I teach yoga and infuse it with my magic.
Okay.
And I can cater a yoga flow to the phase of the moon. I mean, everybody knows sun salutations. There's also a moon salutation. So, and it's so seamlessly blended together, and it just brought the two of the 3 biggest parts of my life together.
Okay. That makes sense, and we'll get to certain other questions talking about 96 and beyond that. But to elaborate more on what is a yoga witch, one, did that book sell well? The one that you find?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, that was part of it. When I spotted it, it was at like number 5 on the bestseller list.
Wow, nice.
And it still is. And it's not in this room, but I could lay my hands on that book in about 30 seconds.
Okay, that's good.
Because it stays at hand.
Okay. I am currently dating and probably will marry a spiritualist myself. She is a tarot card reader. She's really into spirituality, and she has her own tarot cards, and she always reads my fortunes whenever she wants to, even though I don't ask sometimes. Shout out to you, Cardala. Love you. And I would love for you guys talk shop about this stuff, because she loves this stuff.
I would love to.
Of course. So the fact of that I love that, and you have to understand this too. That type of book that you saw, that's the top 5 right now, would have not been around in the 96s, 2000s, 2010, maybe even 2014. 2014 was a weird time, but even then, it was a weird time in our lives. It was a transition from, like, we kept saying weird words and shit in movies and media. Now we got to transition into something a little different. But again, I digress. I say I'm glad that books like that are out there to expand the mind and the soul and everything else. I love stuff like that, because without that, really, we don't learn as a society. Yes, we can find everything on our phones. We can find everything on computers. But as you and I grew up the same way, possibly, you grab a book, you read it, it's a part of your soul, and your soul is a part of you. The book it intertwines back and forth. I myself grew up on dragon books and elves and dwarves and aliens and monsters, because there was always a fantasy of always thinking there's always another world ahead of us. Always. But we'll put that out there. Next question on the list. How did you, Dai, get into yoga? And I remember you being a not so, like, big woman. You were you were really stacked as a woman back in the 2000s. Like, you can punch a wall and get away with it back in those days. How did you get into yoga?
Honestly, it was right around the time that I met you guys. I was pregnant with my middle,
Yes.
and just like with my first, morning sickness was evil.
Yes, it is.